Hello and welcome, everyone, and welcome to Dance of the Soul with Regan and I. And yes, if you haven't noticed, somebody's missing. So Regan Forsten is here in spirit because he's actually up in an airplane, I guess. I didn't know that he didn't talk before we left yesterday or last week that he was going to be gone. And life has just been busy, so I don't hold it at any personality. So with that I want you to know that Regan is here in spirit and he's sending love and he wishes he could be here, but he got his plane ticket, or his plane, I guess, got rescheduled a little bit like they always do. And so he's not here like he would wish to be. So Regan Forsten is a hypnotherapist with the Newton Institute, and I would go to him for therapy too if you wanted to, because he's such a good, wonderful guy who just understands life. He understands addictions. He understands a lot of things. And I, on the other side of that coin, that's why we do such good, wonderful work together, is because of the fact that I'm an intuitive medium who loves to help support people through their stuff. And their stuff is basically anything and everything, because of the fact that I hold no judgments towards people. And I know that through my work, that when I've had counseling with people, that thank you for clicking a thumbs up, because I know that I'm grateful that, when wisdom comes from my other side, a lot of people have said, Natasha, how do you know all these little threads that come together? And I'm grateful for that moment. And if someone is listening here, I want you to know that I am going to send prayers. I haven't got a chance to get back to you. And I want you to know that no matter what your dance is, that they're all going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And I want you all to know that if we can, at this moment, and I've been sending love, I've been sending gifts, and I know this is a conversation that has been all around the world. And this is why I wanted to have a conversation, and Regan was so on board with this. If his plane would have been here, about dealing with the war inside of ourselves. The war inside of ourselves, the war that we go through in our own mind, our own being. And then how do we deal with the war that's going on outside of us? And that could be just the war on our streets, because I know some people live where all they hear is gunshots all through the day, and it's almost like fireworks. And it's not a good set of fireworks. There's some people who live in just where you can't walk safely, and it's a war where they're at. And then you got some countries, some streets, some towns, wherever you live across this loving world that we have, not everybody is safe. I know for me that in the small town that I live in, I feel relatively safe. I do. Yet at the same time, though, really, would I walk down the streets at midnight by myself? Well, I have, but I do it with very much intention of being protective and protected. I call in all my guides and angels to help me. Yet I'm safer than probably half the world out there. It's a perspective, isn't it? And then we have this, oh man, why? The big question is why? Why? Why do we have to have something like this that's over in Uruguay and Russia? And so at this moment, I'm going to ask that if I can hold a moment of silence for just holding a prayer. And in this prayer, I'm going to ask whoever is watching this, and it doesn't matter if you're watching it live or recorded, because intention is intention, that if we can hold a moment of silence, of prayer, and send it across our world, around our world, like a hug to any and all who need support. And I'm going to ask this for us to do this in a moment here, because of the fact that it doesn't matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter who you believe in. Sitting in a silent mode and sending love is a great gift if you have that intention. Are we ready? I'm going to ask that as of now, holding prayer and love for just a minute as we send love. Thank you. Thank you to all who are willing to send that love, because of the fact that love can be, and in my observation, one of the only things that can shift the world around us. If we fight for peace, what does fighting for peace do? It creates that turmoil. And I know for me, walking in life as I have, that the moments where there's been turmoil and disarray, that when I've sat in a moment and held love and asked for the greater good to come forth, many a times, even though it may not have fixed the argument or the situation, many times it did settle and it did shift to the greater good. So let's talk about the war that we have within ourselves. We all have them. We all have them. And the war that I'm talking about is that when we sit down and we go, I don't want to, or why do I have to, or that war of I'm not giving it up. Okay. And I know right now, oh man, if anybody was, I don't know what kind of day anybody had besides me. I had a basically okay day, but it seemed like there was people around me that were up in the air, down and around, and and it was all I could do to kind of walk around and just say loving things. Say loving things. I had one student even in my arms. Luckily, he was a kindergartner, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have done it. And he was getting ready to throw a fit. And I held him and I said, you cannot run for this. Let's go back and talk to them nicely. We don't have to scream and yell. Can you say, can you move from where I was at, please? I was just there. And he sat there and he did it. And then somebody else was going to go in that spot. And he says, and I said, can you please move from that spot? I was there first. And he says, can you move from that spot? And he's a kindergartner, so he's learning. And it was interesting how taking that moment where he was, and then bringing him back and saying, can you do this nicely? Screaming and yelling is not going to get it. He had that war inside himself for a moment, because he thought that if he threw a fit, he was going to get what he wanted. Oh, no. Bring it around. And then he had a more peaceful moment, right? Dealing with that war in ourselves. Now, I can tell you, I've had probably 2 in this last weekend. I had about 2 in this last weekend. And I'm going to tell you, one is with my cat. through looking at myself and observing myself and and having some conversations, that I really found out that the reason why I'm grieving having a cat who is such a loving being, yet she can't give me what she can give. She's a feral cat. So she has she doesn't have the ability to be loving in the way that I need. I want a cat. I need a cat. I've had cats who sit, or they cradle, or they sit and they can hold space. She has about two minutes on my lap. And like the other day, I was petting her. 1, 2, and and I really came to find out why I'm battling with not. She's a great cat. She doesn't get up on the counter. She's a mouser. She's everything that we need. She doesn't get into anything. She comes in, she sleeps, she goes out, she does what she needs. She is a blessing. She's a blessing in her own right. But I'm having a war inside myself because of the fact that instead of being at peace with what I have, I'm wishing for something different. And I really came out last night to why I'm craving this cat that would love me. And it's because of the fact that after leaving my parents, my first animal was a cat. And she was the first thing that loved me. That really wasn't, I had other people who cared for me, enjoyed me, loved me. Yes, my cousins, they loved me. But there's this deep down love that this cat gave me that was almost equal to my parents. And I've had people who love me. Don't get me wrong. I love my cousins watching this. You love me more than most everybody else has loved me. There's just something about this cat when she sat there in my dark times and loved me. And I know a lot of people understand this with animals, that they hold you in a space in times when a lot of humans can't, right? Well, my body and my energy and my being for the last, many years of my life, let's see, Brody, she lived 12 years, and then Maya lived about 12 years. So with that through the last many years of having an animal who held space for me. Well, I can tell you that me in the last 5 years, since I've had Ava, I didn't have a cat for a year or two, and then Ava came along, that I'm missing something. And I really came down to, it was my inner child needing that moment of acceptance. And when we're having those wars inside of us, I want to accept what I have because it's a blessing. And I want to surrender, accept, and trust that moment. Yet, there's a part of me that wishes and craves, and you have this battle going on inside of you of what you have and what you need and that's a war inside of ourselves, because we're trying to convince ourselves that is not what we can have, or that what we have is what we should have. And yet, and so we try filling it in other ways. Some people, it might be alcohol. Some people, it might be smoking. Some people, it might be doing the other things that want to fill in. And I'm trying to think right now what I'm filling in those moments with. I'll look at that, because that's an observation that I'm having. Did you see how that light went on? Came in the back door there, didn't it? Pieces of the puzzle come together when we're looking at ourselves and seeing how things are happening. And when we're having this war about should I or shouldn't I, can or I can't I, what is and what isn't, where are we going to go, what's not going to happen. It's amazing how we move forward in our life when we don't come to some kind of peaceful conclusion with ourselves. Some peaceful conclusion with ourselves. It's kind of like the wars outside of us, isn't it? Well, I want this, but you can't have that. But I really don't want to deal with what you're telling me. And I know what I want is mine, but it's not yours. Doesn't that sound like kind of like if you take the metaphor of the big umbrella? That's what I just talked about with having a cat. And Ava's in this room and I love her. I love her. I love her with I love her with all my being. Yet, I put a yet in that sentence. I'm gonna work on that one. That's what I told somebody last night is that, I'm learning to accept and trust this whole process of what the universe gave me. And when they say that I'm ready for something else, then I'm going to trust and enjoy that moment too. Because of the fact that I am trusting my guides and the universe around me of why. Now, I know I could push the process and go to the Humane Society and get somebody that would fill me up. But that animal hasn't come forth, and I haven't had that calling to go find it because of the fact that I know that I'm learning some great experiences standing on my own 2 feet, fulfilling my own energy, fulfilling my own love for self, not looking outside of me, but looking inside of me for love. Finding that, I have a wonderful dog, I have a wonderful cat, I have a wonderful husband, and I have wonderful home. I have wonderfulness around me, right? So filling in that part of me that says you have. You may not have it in that category, but let's push over that feeling of not having over into these parts of us that have. Because of the fact that if we can do that, then we're going to end up being able to move that part of us that is stuck. Doesn't it sound like some more of the wars that are going around? Some of those wars, those stuckness, and bring it around to being its greater good. I hope I'm making sense, and please let me know. I love conversation, so if you have anything you'd like to say, please put in, because my perspective is mine. I mean, how do you deal with some of your personal wars? How do you deal with some of your personal turmoils that you're in? How do you deal with when something doesn't go your way? Does your inner child throw a fit and you throw a tantrum? Or do you get disappointed and sad and realistically, energetically, and then become aware around you? How do you implement yourself? How do you implement yourself? Life is about adventure. And like somebody was saying on a Facebook post about how, you're an optimist when every step back is a step forward. An optimist. To move forward, you need that one step back to move forward. And I always think, when I'm going to be going forward, I need something to plant my foot to move forward, right? It's hard to jump forward when you're standing still. You almost can step back a moment and start. Just like when you're running a race, you have to put one foot back to get yourself going, right? So remember that everything that we're going through, going through, that there is a lesson to experience and how to navigate it. I know Miss Mother Mary over here over my shoulder, the blessed being that she is, wants us all to do better. And she wants us to know that we don't have to be in the battle to do it. But yet the battle is the place where we really get to our moments. Because I know for me, if I wouldn't have gone into that turmoil, that upsetness last night that I was in, and I'm fine, actually, I'm fine. It's the process of me moving forward, that I wouldn't have come back to, that's how my first love came. Oh, that's how my really deep first love outside of my parents came. My heart aches when I recognize that. Does your body ever hurt when you kind of come to an aha moment? Mine does. Because my heart chakra is going, wow, that was an observation you had, Natasha. Moving forward is an amazing place when we can do it with awareness. And I'm going to tell you, those personal wars, if we hold on to those old beliefs and those old situations, it's amazing how it is hard to move forward and move out of that moment of disheartedness. Hello. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Iffy, how you doing? I hope I said your name correct. I'm so sorry if I didn't. Hello and welcome. And please, if you're dealing with something and you would like some help, let me know, because I would love to support you. I know that today, I don't know what was going on in the planets, but astrologically wise, that it just seemed like, oh my gosh, and I know, the moon was going through Aquarius. And whenever the moon is in Aquarius, it's like shaking the pot of life up, and it's really setting us into this moment of unfootedness. And when we're in that, it really makes us ache. It really makes us ache. Oh, I'm on a Aquarian. Oh, that's a yes, 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 yes. And you turned 30. Yes, congratulations. And I know your birthday was just around the corner. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday. Because we're now in Pisces. I understand. Yes, we're in Pisces right now, and that deep water emotions of the deep fish that swim. Wow. But the moon right now is in Aquarian, and is in Aquarius, from what my astrologer was saying, that when I listened this morning, and she was, and I know when we're doing that, it is our spirit wants to fly free. It wants to move around. It wants to move through our life. And yet it makes us feel like we have to break through walls to get there. And getting through those walls is not easy. And that's where breaking down the walls of our wars, our inner wars, our outer wars, and become more in peace mode. In peace mode. So what I did, yes, Pisces, thank you. That, that breaking down the walls and in peace. Well, what is peace? That is funny. My cat is in the corner over here, and she is snoring so loud. It's funny because here I was talking about her, me giving her love and peace and speaking nicely of her, even though there was turmoil. She's sleeping so peacefully, she's snoring. I love how, when you're in this moment of craving something else, yet if we can hold peace and love for something, in the same time saying, I know you're not just good enough. I know you're not peace. You're not exactly what I was hoping for, but yet you are here. And I accept you. I love you. I accept you. And like I've told my husband several times in the last weekend, I'm learning to trust, accept and surrender to the moment of why I have her. Why she is the the cat that the universe and I chose. Because I did choose her. I went to the house and I held her and she cradled in my arms, and I was like, yes, she feels right. I knew that when I held her, though, that there was going to be not a smooth path with her. And part of that is that we ended up having a puppy dog about the same time, who's about a year old, and she was one that was not raised around dogs, and in her feral mode, she did not come forth well with that scenario. And so with that we had a war in our house. And Ava ended up staying in this room. Imagine that. She likes my spirit room. And Cleo was in the other room. And I was in the other room a lot because my life was having me be there. Like I twisted my ankle and I had to be more in that room than in this room. And it was hard for me to find that bonding at the key times in our life. Ooh, the bonding. So I'm going to tell you that when I can talk, when we can bond with that part of us, bond, not strangle, right? Not strangle, but bond, become in communion with, come into a sacredness with that part of us that is in turmoil, or that part of us that is unhappy, and we can become more in communion with it, then we can find more understanding. And when we were in the battle of like the Civil War, and brothers were battling, families were battling, when you see these countries, and I know that right now Africa, the whole country of Africa, there's parts of you that isn't, can't go there. And down in South Africa, South America, excuse me, I'm gonna cough here, that they're having some turmoil places, right? And even in our own country here in the United States, Ireland for years and centuries had battles. And Europe, oh my gosh, Europe, that whole country, all through the eastern area of India and all those areas, the land, Egypt. I know that's in Africa, but all that region in that area, when you think about all the battles they had, the energy is stuck in that land. It's stuck in the land. And I know for me, when I go back to Mississippi, and then I feel the land ache for what it had to witness. And what it holds space. And I have an understanding that when I walked back in Missouri and Mississippi, and every time I took a step, I prayed that the land could release the angst and the anger from its history. Because of the fact that when you have love for yourself, love for others, love for the moment, that is the one thing that can heal everything. And it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it easy. But it makes it right. It's like a ship being righted. It's not keeled over, right? It's righted. And as we go through life, if we can hold that space and know that no matter where we're going, that holding love, that can heal. And I pray that somebody over in the area of the Middle East right now with Russia and that whoever can wake up Putin, so that and his people who communicate with him, wake them up to saying, can we be more one? We don't have to take over to be one. We commune to be one. That doesn't mean that we lose our individuality. It just means that we are having a moment where we can understand you are you, I am me, but I agree that we can be friendly. I can agree that you have different opinions. I have different opinions. Yeah, we can be friendly. We can be friendly. And that's how I hold my sessions. That's how I hold space with someone else's. I don't have judgment towards anybody else. Well, maybe the drug commercials that say that, for shaking hands, you may have shaking hand syndrome when you take this. I can't have communion with that one. I don't want to. So going forth and doing the work of holding space in ourselves, understanding that there's going to be times in us that has turmoil, that it has aches, and it has pains, and it has disheartedness, and it has history, and it has this scenario of holy freaking crap. Why? Holding the space for it can give us grace. And that's all that sometimes having peace needs, is grace for a few minutes to diffuse, to decipher, to whatever's that's going on. No one can do this but you. And how we interact with others, nobody else can do this but you. How we are in this world, the only one that can do this is you. And that means that if we come up to someone who has, I'm going to just call it, cut us off in the streets or swore at us because they were having a bad day, we have a choice to cause a war, or we have a choice to say, I wish you a better day, and I am sorry that you're having a bad day, and bye. The better we can. Because I'm going to say that on the playground that I interact with, that there's two kids that are battling. The first thing I say to them, someone has to stop. Something has to stop. And I use that tone. Something has to stop. And I'm saying that to myself sometimes. Something has to stop. What needs to stop? And usually it's that part of me that wants to throw a fit like a teenager or a 2-year-old. 2-year-olds, teenagers, same difference sometimes. So as we're going through life and managing life, what can we do? We can really hold on to that compassion, that knowing that everybody has a moment, including us. Everybody's going to be doing something different, including us. Somebody's going to have a different opinion, including us. How can we manage those wars? By having love and compassion. Not a wobbly, easygoing, you can beat me up type of atmosphere. Like I had to hold that child this morning. No, you're not running away and screaming and getting into a fit because you know you can. You're going to stand here and deal with what's happening in a calmer way. And that is going to bring us blessings. Having an understanding of differences. And I wish that for all. And I pray that constantly. Pray that constantly, because we all have different stories that we were raised with. And I wish that everybody would have had an easier going life than they did. But I'm going to tell you, perception is a lot of it. Because we all have some kind of story. I want you to know that I have love for you. I have great love for you. And on Wednesdays, when I do my show, Life Clarifications with Natasha, I usually pull cards. But this Wednesday, I have a guest. Eric is coming back. Eric Hall is coming back. And I'm so excited because he is funny and hilarious. And just, he's a great old guy. He's just a great guy. So I am going to pull some cards. Does anybody want a card? So I could pull a card for, so I have these Oracle cards. I love them. They give different messages. Or I can pull, and then there's these cards here. These are beautiful. So if you want a card, please have me pull a card for you. Path of the Soul. And they are just amazing. So if you would like me to pull a card for you, and Effie, I hope that I said your name right. I am so dyslexic that I apologize. But if you're still here, if you would like me to pull a card for you, I would be grateful to just give you an outlook of what your future can have. Okay. Let's see. I also have, I have more cards, but I'm just going to give. Oh, thank you. Okay, so which one? So the map. You want the map series, and that is where I just pull a card and then I read. I can do the Path of the Soul card, or I can do my Oracle, just say Oracle cards. For those, depends on which one you want. I'll wait for you. So she said, okay, and sure. So Effie, what would you like? Would you like, it's called the map cards, or the Path of the Soul, or the Oracle? Path of the Soul. I was kind of going towards those if you weren't going to ask me. So thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, the Path of the Soul. And when I am doing this, so what I'm going to ask you to do is hold just the intention. It can be a question you have, or it can be just the intention. What does my future hold for me? What is something that I need to know? What is something that I need to know? And I'm going to hold that space. What is this that she needs to hold? And then the card that calls, and what card is calling out to me is this one right here. Woo! Okay, so that one wanted to come out too. Did you see that one? So you have actually two cards. So I'm going to pull this one. So, ooh, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? That is beautiful. And this is the second card that came out for you. The spiral. Isn't that pretty? Like almost a seashell, isn't it? So you have two cards. So I'm going to read the first one. So this first one was a 9. Oh, and nines are endings. And so remember, if you have an ending, if you have an ending, that is a beginning. So whenever I have an ending that comes up, an ending, and I have a lot of them in my life, that I ask for whatever's supposed to come in, be loving, kind to me. And whenever I have an ending, like if I see 9/11, it's endings with magical new beginnings. So whatever's ending, please bring in nice new beginnings. So 9. Let's see. I'm going to read 9. Okay. Light within. Light within. Try to get my lights out of it for you. Light within. Isn't that pretty? Light within. You are awakening to your inner light and opening up to new levels of spiritual understanding and awareness. Guides and teachers are working with you to assist you in this awakening. Support is coming in the human form as well. Those who are knowledgeable and experienced will be there to offer their support as needed. The main color is green in this card. Shows you that to know our own inner light is to know our own inner heart. Because the green is the heart chakra. Pink and green. Enjoy the experience, stay connected, and rest will happen naturally. And the rest will happen naturally. So that last sentence, enjoy the experiences, stay connected, and the rest will happen naturally. So remember, when you're on a spiritual path, when you're on a path like me, that let's say with my cat, I'm on a path and I'm enjoying the moments. I'm enjoying the moments when she does rub up against my leg, asking me for something because I know she's asking me for food. And enjoy the moments. Enjoy the moments. So there's one. Okay, and then this next one is number 18. Oh, and that's a 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. So you have 2 9s in your card deck. So remember that when you're doing a lot of spiritual awakening or learning of yourself, that a lot of the old slips away that is no longer needed. And it can be a very painful process. But I can tell you that what gets replaced is tenfold more loving than what you had before. Okay, so there's that card. Okay, so that was 18 that I'm reading for you. And if there's anybody else listening and you would like a card, please ask for it. Renewal. You're in a new renewal area. Spirals represent the healing energy. This card is calling for a repair and healing within your relationship, especially family. You are being asked to look for the good in all those who closely surround you. It is time to create a new dynamics within your relationship, and this card will provide you within the healing power to do this. See the gift you have been given in your relationship with others. Look for the God within everyone. Send your gratitude to all who are close to you. Not only will you experience a renewal within your relationships, but within your heart as well. I hope those 2 cards help you. What a gift. So you're coming into a new loving moment. And remember about the spiral. You're going back home. And the one thing that my husband, he kind of gets into this moment of shouldn't have named my husband, but he's one I pick on quite a bit because I pick on myself too. Being the alcoholic that he's been in turmoil a lot of his own life in his own head. And so anger, disruption, disheartedness, why aren't they doing it better? Why can't, and I started saying, why don't we just have them on? Why don't we just start saying good for her, good for them? When there's something on TV that is that he's wondering why are they saying that again, just say good for them. Good for them. And it doesn't mean that we have to add more to that. Sometimes we don't want to say anything more than that. Good for them. Good for them. It changes it from being why to good for them. We don't have to agree with it, but good for them. Good for them. And I pray in the meantime that as love happens and we go forth, that everyone has a moment where it's good for them. Okay, I'm going to do a card for the community. And I'm going to do the map series. And I like these cards. They have kind of getting slippery, so I am obviously that they want to talk here. And in the path or the dance of the soul, Regan and I usually talk about how our souls can work. And I know that when we're talking about the war, how long has our souls have been in war? I know many of us that are souls right now that are come forth. I can see that they've been in the Celtic times. They've been in the Celtic times. And what was life like in the Celtic times? War. It was constant war, tribe against tribe, region against region. The English came in and tried to take over different countries. It was one thing after another. Across the Asian areas, Mongolians, different areas like that, China. they all had different wars. And then the Arabian countries, the Arab countries, that have that Mideastern area. How many wars have they had in that land? Our souls have been at anger, at frustration for so many lifetimes. Can this be the lifetime that we start having more peace with each other? And I know a lot of us, like when I was watching the riots that were coming up, you know how many past lives I saw that were standing in line, fighting for truth, that they were part of the slave trade, finally having a voice for themselves in a past life. Their skin might have been white now, but it wasn't then. And I finally saw them having a voice, and I said, good for them, that they finally have a voice. It's time to heal. And the only way we can heal is by asking our guides and our angels and whoever you believe in, whoever you don't believe in, that is for the greater good of love, to add peace. Okay, I've been talking instead of putting intentions in the cards. Okay, here they go. And I think this one is the one that wanted to come out. The Ghost Lands. Oh, we've had this card a lot lately. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Thank you for coming on. I'm doing good. You're new here. Well, you're catching me at the end. But on Mondays, what I do is that this is the Dance of Soul. And usually Regan and I, Regan Forsten is a hypnotherapist with the Newton Institute. And I am Natasha Venter, intuitive medium, psychic medium, personal awareness coach, feng shui consultant. I love to help people go through life. And on the show, The Dance of the Soul, usually Regan and I are talking about how our soul goes through walks in our lives. This is a spiritual conversation about how we can walk through our life. No judgments here, knowing that we all are going through life. And right now, I am pulling oracle cards because of the fact that Regan is not here. He is actually on an airplane that got delayed. And so with that he could not be here like he normally is. So with that I'm pulling oracle cards. And if you'd like an oracle card, I would love to pull one for you. So this here is for the communion of all. So this is a card that I pulled in intention for whoever is watching this. This can be for them. And it's 17, and it's the Ghost Lands. The Ghost Lands. We're in between this and that. So 17. So okay, so what I would like you to do, so you can either do the map series, which I just did, my oracle cards, which are like this, and they have different animals, and they have, oops, only animals are coming up. Yeah, there's a cat, and there's a deer. Oh, they have different pictures. Or I can do the Path of the Soul, which they have cards like this, and I read about them. Okay, so right now I'm going to read about the Ghost Land. So 17. So let me read about that while you're putting in while you're putting in your going through hell. Going through a hell of a walk right now. I can tell you today, oh my gosh, I work in an elementary school in the morning, and I am grateful I'm there because I do a lot of my spiritual work there without being called spiritual. I do a lot of personal walk. I'll do the Path of Soul for you. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many fights that wanted to break out today. I don't know how many. I love being in the elementary school system because of the fact that it shows me really what's going on in the stars and the planets. I don't do astrology, but I have a tap into astrology. And so I know life is turning around and turning around and turning around. And oh my gosh, things are happening. Okay, so I'm going to read the Ghostlands card. And this is a card for everyone. Okay. So upright. Protecting treasure. Oh, no, wait a minute. That was 39. 17, Ghostlands. Ghostlands. You can learn from the past and imagine a beautiful future, but you must live in the here and now. Ooh. Oh, sometimes that's not easy, is it? But I can tell you, being in the here and now brings us so many personal awarenesses. And when you're going through your personal hell walk, and today was about the wars in ourselves and the wars that are going around us. And I hope I did a little bit better with that conversation, because it's not an easy one, because every war is different and it's a personal war when it happens. I'm going to sneeze here. Nope. It might pop up. Upright. So when the card is upright, it's like this, and when it's not, it's like this. And I think I pulled it not upright. So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to ring both, because it depends on where you're at in your life. Perspective. Perspective is huge when we're going through our personal hell. Do we take it personally, or do we take it as an observer? What is this here to teach me? What can I learn from this? I'm sending grace and love to those that are around me that are having hell, that are putting it on me. And remembering that I can have a bubble of love around me to protect me. Okay, so the Ghostlands. Whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you can run the risk of losing your footing. For rarely do the present and the future match up exactly on the enchanted map that is your life story. The future has no substance right now. It is a place that has no grounding as of yet. You can't live there, yet you can take measured steps toward the goal of the dream. These steps are important now. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember beautiful moments. Revisit lessons learned. However, you cannot live there, nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday has gone forever. Live fully in the present. The now is the most powerful place to put your intention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, further than the heart and the soul can see. That's why in the beginning of this, I held space. I held a moment of peace and to have love spread around, because when we hold that intention of love, it's amazing how it can help heal the future. But all we can do is interact with the now. Okay, so I'm going to read the card as it's upside down. And upside down means it's kind of like tripping over rocks. We just have a stumbling time moving forward. Okay, reverse. When the Ghostlands cards appears reversed, it's a sign that you're wandering in an emotional or intellectual place with no real substance. There is no point longing for that which already is gone or hasn't happened yet. Perhaps you've created a fantasy of the good old days or some elusive utopia destination that lies somewhere in the future. When this or that happens to make things better. So in other words, this or that, how can we make it better, right? Live one day at a time. Each day is a new beginning filled with truth and beauty. Stay away from ghostlands of past and future. Avoid nostalgic and longing for something better. Find joy in what is present in your day. Oh boy. And that's the thing that, remember my cat story here. I have a cat that's feral, and I am really calling in a cat that can be mine and loving, but enjoy what I have instead of having the longing for something. And I know that if I get another cat, will it fix it? Maybe not. So enjoy what I have. Surrender, trust, and accept. Surrender, trust, and accept. Surrender, trust, and accept. Okay, I'm here. May not like it. Personal war inside myself. But yet I am knowing that what I have is a blessing. Until the universe says, I'm bringing you closer to what you want. And life will do what it can. Life can do what it can for you if you have the perception to walk forward. Perception to walk forward with more grace, more love. And that acceptance is sometimes hard. Okay, so that was that card. And I hope that helps somebody out there. Okay, so you said that the path of soul, and you saying that was rang true about what I was talking about the kids. Okay, I lost someone I love, and I'm being treated like it was nothing by his family. I'm really, oh, okay. So, hi, does the spirit have a message for me? Hi, Lisa, how you doing? Just a second. Yes, they do actually. Just a second. Let me, I'm going to navigate with Dawn here for a minute. Okay. So Dawn, my love goes to you. Grief is not the easiest place to go. And everybody has an opinion about how you should go through it. I'm telling you right now that your grief is your personal path. And it's here to help you. It's here to wake you up. It's here to treat you and show you who you can be. And as you go through life and as you're managing your life, Dawn, that as life happens, and I can tell you that grief brings out the worst in people or the best in people. And I'm sorry that his family is treating you the way that they are, because many times when you have, let's say, 2 siblings or 3 or 4 siblings, and they fight over what their parents had, instead of coming together in a loving way, they fight over it. And I've seen more families break up after the matriarch leaves because that piece that was holding everyone together. So know that no matter what's happening right now, your grief is yours. And I can honor you through that grief. Because when we're going through life and managing our grief, it's an amazing place to be. It's an amazing place to be. And sometimes it's not all that nice. So when you're angry, be angry. When you're sad, be sad. When you're happy, be happy. But remember, when you're angry and you're sad, be careful who you're around and please don't take it out on them. But like for me, when I was going through grief myself, that I would sit down and watch Hallmark movies and cry my eyes out. And then the next morning get up and say, okay, grief, we had our time. I'll give you a chance in a moment, but right now I have to get up and get moving, right? Hi, Angela. Hi, how are you doing, Angela? Okay, so it's been hell. I've been trying, but I want to say, sorry, dyslexic here. I want to say the hell with it. Yeah, I took everything, but I have him in my heart. And that's, yes, exactly. Okay, so hi, Patricia. Hi, Natasha. Any messages from Ferrisburg? Okay, so what I'm doing is it's amazing how everybody's popping. I love this, how many people are popping in. Okay, so I am pulling cards. It's the, and Dawn, I'm going to be doing yours. I haven't been done with yet, but I wanted to talk to you about your grief here. The Path of the Soul. And then I also have the Max series and Oracle cards. So if you would like a card, please put forth, and I'm going to put a limit on it. You're more than welcome, Dawn. Okay, so I'm going to catch up here. I keep telling myself I can't afford pale money. You know, life is not easy right now. And it's really raking us over the coals to teach us self-love. And it's helping us waken to our new knowings of where we're at. And this personal war that we're in and the war that's going on around us is not going to be easy to navigate through. My love is with everyone. Okay, so would love a card. Okay, So let's see. So I'm going to do, so hi, Lisa. Yes, you would like a card. Okay. So can you mention, because I'm going to do a Path of the Soul, which are these kinds of cards for Dawn. And then the map series, which are like this for whoever. And then the Oracle cards, which is animals, and it's also different beings and different like paths that it would come up for you. No, actually, after I do the cards, I will be done here in about 10 minutes. While everybody's here, please come. The or the Dance of the Soul is on every Monday at 4 o'clock. And I am on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock for life care clarifications with Natasha. And this week I have Eric Hall, who is, oh, I love Eric. He is a bus driver here in Seattle, and his perspective is amazing. Actually, we're kind of thinking about writing a book together. So with that we're working on doing life. So please come back. I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. I'm going to pull some cards if everybody would like a card. And and if you would like to be here every Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific time on either YouTube channel, Facebook, or Twitter. And I'm on Instagram sometimes on Wednesdays if I can do that. So please, I am so grateful you're here. Thank you. So Effie, I am going to, not Effie, Dawn. I'm going to do a Path of the Soul. So when I'm pulling cards, if you can put out what your intention is, what you would like to hear. It could be something as simple as, what does my future look like? What can you tell me how to get through my trauma, my personal war that I'm going through right now? How can I navigate through? So put it your intention. Ooh, and Dawn, is your digestive system having troubles right now? Because my tummy is hurting. And so when we're going through grief, when we're going through a major uproar, be careful about what you're eating. Many times our digestive system gets upset because it's hard to digest our life. And I do a mantra like that. I'm digesting my life. I'm digesting my life. I'm digesting my life. Even if I don't like it, I'm digesting my life. I'm digesting my life. I'm digesting my life. I'm digesting my life. And that helps get through our body, physical body, going through the trauma of what we're going through. Okay. So, this card came out. What I do is when I'm shuffling the cards, sometimes visually I get a card that comes out to me, and sometimes the card pops out. Oh, look at this card that you got. I got to get the light out of the way. Sorry about that. There we go. Maybe between this and that. There we go. Isn't that pretty? That is like beautiful. That is like beautiful. So this is the Path of the Soul. So I'm going to read this card. So this is number 7. Number 7. Number 7 for Dawn. Bull Guide. Bull Guide appears to offer you strength as you move through your life. He imparts the teaching and wisdom of standing strong and firm when you need to, and not allowing others to cross your personal boundaries. Look at all the situations happening around you at this time. The Bull Guide is here to help you to be firm wherever and whenever you are needed to be. He wants to remind you that you are strong and you are deeply supported as you find your way to your own self-esteem empowerment. And I want everyone to know that if you're going through something, I am here to do personal sessions also to help you through your daily walk and whatever you're going through. So, Dawn, I hope that helps you. Not eating good. Yes, I know. When I was going through grief and going through the loss of my parents, they kind of passed away at the same time my kids were born, I ended up overdosing on chocolate graham crackers, and I still can't eat them to this day. But now I know better to do better. So I try to at least eat 3 good things before I eat something not so good, because sometimes when we're going through a lot of stress, we crave the sugars, we crave the not so good healthy things. And so I tell myself when I'm going through stressful moments, 3-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio. And when I can do that 3-to-1 ratio, My body digests my life better. My body digests my life better. Okay, so Angela, you would like a card. Dawn, thank you. I keep telling myself, and I can't afford to pay money. Well, remember, you're not in jail, though, Dawn. Remember, you're not in jail. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so Angela, you. Okay, so anybody. Let's see. I'm going back through the comments here. Okay, so I did. Any message, Patricia, what card would you like? Okay, Angela, you would like a card. You're welcome, Dawn. I would like a card, please. So Lisa, you would like a card. Okay, not really any. Wow, Dawn, I makes sense. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Okay, so do you want me to pick for you? Let's see. Patricia, would you like me? So would you like the path? The path of the soul is hitting pretty good. So I'm going to do that for you, Patricia. Path of the soul. Hi, Lisa. Yes. Hi, Lisa. What would you like? Which card would you like? Would you like Path of the soul, the map, or the oracle cards? So I'm going to do right now, Patricia, since she asked earlier, and I know, Lisa, you were right up there with Patricia. So Patricia, put your thoughts out there. So hi, Lisa. Yes, thank you for popping in. Okay, so Patricia. Ooh. I think that card popped out for you. Ooh, isn't that pretty? 38. 38. Wow, 38. And this is for Patricia. That's pretty. Okay, so 38. Patricia. Intuitive Arts Guide. There are many forms of intuitive art being done on the planet today. Using your intuitive gifts has a large role in the work you are really here to do. There are many tasks that are undertaken which actually involve intuitive process. Whether you paint, write music, design, raise children, waitress, give psychic readings, you are operating from an intuitive space. This guide is here to help you see that your role is important. The work you do is needed. You are in service, and your intuition knowings is strong. You are helping others to acknowledge and accept their own intuition. So that's for you, Patricia. Good job, my dear. Sometimes it's not easy to recognize that we are intuitive, no matter what we're doing. I'm just more intuitive with how I trust the guides coming in through me. Okay. What is your feeling? Okay, so Lisa, thank you for your trust. Okay. So Lisa. Oh, the map. The maps are wanting to come out for you. Okay. So Lisa. Okay, put out your intention, Lisa. Put out your intention. And Angela, you're next. You're next, my dear. Okay. Path of the soul. So you are the map. So you are Lisa. Put out your intentions. What would you like? Would you like an answer for where to go? What do the cards just want to tell you? What are the cards that want to tell you? Is there a dilemma you're in right now? Is there a dilemma you're in right now? Oh, they're feeling like they're connecting here. And I am getting a feeling it's this card right here for you. This card right here for you. Wow. Intention. Intention. Look at that. Look at the owl up there. And 22 is a 4. 22 is a master number also. And the owl with the wizard's wand, right, is on an egg. An egg is about new beginnings on a pedestal. Intention. Wow. Oh, married 38 years to an alcoholic. You know, I married 31 years to an alcoholic who is now 10 years old, sober. So I can empathize with you greatly because I went about 22 years with one. My love is with you as you go through this dance. Wow. Talk about a personal war sometimes. So intention. Okay. So 22. Okay. So I'm going to read both because if a card is upside down, it means that we are kind of going like tripping over bricks or tripping over something. And so with that it's a stumbling feeling. So I'm going to read both of them. And that's just amazing. Oh, and it's not. You know what it is? It's a like when dandelions go out. That's what it is, that he's holding like a dandelion where, when you blow on them, you can make a wish. That's what it is. Yes, very hard. Living with an alcoholic is very hard. 22. Well, I hope this card helps out. Okay. Intention. Deliberate, clear intentions have the power to change your world. And I can tell you, definitely. Because my alcoholic husband at the time when he was drinking, show him how I wanted to be treated did not work. I had to start using my words, but I had to do them with intention. I could not do them with wobbly and I could not do them out of anger or passive aggressive, because I know that when we're not able to get our way, our personal war ends up being passive aggressive. Okay. So when I started bringing my emotions up front, and sometimes I couldn't say it in my words because I didn't want to have an argument, but I can say it in my intention. And sometimes when he would be talking to me, and he was a very depressed, angry alcoholic. He's much better now. That when he would talk to me, in my being, I would say to him, "You're not going to treat me this way anymore. I am done you treating me this way." But I did not say it. But in me, I would say that. And when I would do that, that started changing the energy with us. And he started learning how powerful I was as a woman. So here's my card for you, Lisa. Upright. Your objectives will be fulfilled at this time. Inspired intentions are like magic arrows shot into the sky. The universe is bringing you a gift, showing you that you're hitting your mark, recognizing that you are not the one who has to do all the work. However, others help you co-create reality. You connect to the power of your intention, sending it out into the field. Then the arrow of synchronicity to work its magic. Perhaps the good intention of others will inspire you and send you out beautiful ones of your own. Own the life you want to lead and live deliberately with clarity and detachment. Oh, that's a hard one. Clarity and detachment. I'm telling you, that is what I had to do. I had to have good intentions, clarity, without any outcome. My outcome could not be what it wanted to be. It had to be what the universe wanted it to be. And if you're needing some help, I can have a personal session with you. If you go to angelicclarifications.com, and I can give you some tools to help you negotiate changing your contract and moving forward. Okay, so I'm going to read the reverse card upside down. Okay, for you, Lisa. Are you clear about your intentions? Are you in the fog state of denial about your true motives and your ambition? Sorry. This is a time to step back and gain perspective of a clarity about your direction. Check your motives and ask if they are secure. Are you pursuing some goal blindly without asking its cost? Good intentions are being misinterpreted. Now is the time for self-evaluation, self-nurturing. You will benefit greatly if you take the time out to regroup. And I'm going to tell you that is a really good thing to do, is step back before you jump and really set forth what you're wanting to have. I hope that card helps, because what can you crack open in this egg? What can you wish for with the magic of owl? Owl is about, in many belief systems, a death for rebirth. So my God, my camera went weird. And when you're going through that intention, what is the newness that you want to have, right? And it's time to take things off the pedestals, bring them down to reality. So I hope that helps. Okay, Angela, you would like a card, right? Which one for you would you like? The Path of the Soul. Path of the Soul is coming for you, Angela, if you're still here. Okay, so put your intentions out there, Angela. I hope that helped, Lisa. I hope that helped. My camera went fuzzy on me. Refocus it here. Did that help? Nope. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to be fuzzy. I apologize. Okay, so Angela, put out your intention. What is there something you would like to know? Your personal wish. What is it that you would like to know? Is there something in the future that you would like to have insight on? Or is it that you just want the cards to tell you what it is? And I'm going to hold the intention for whatever you wish for as I shuffle. Okay. Just in general. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so this card here. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Isn't that a pretty one? Oop, That's a pretty one. I have too many lights facing me, and it makes it hard sometimes to look. I wish you could see the colors on this one. Let me get it up close. It's very beautiful. Okay, so this one is 27. Find the book. 27. And remember, if you have not gotten a card, or if you want a card and you're listening, that all these cards can have something for you. Okay? 27, 27, 29, 28, 27. Okay, doves. Doves. Doves represent the cycling from the old to the new. It is important to remember that you are not alone during these times, that you're in your spiritual journey. The doves are here to remind you to allow the peace and love to nurture you through this time of change. You will receive the energy and the strength to do the needs to be done. You are fully supported. Know that it is okay to ask for support you need. The cycle will end soon, and you will experience the full bounty and beauty of this wonderful growth. Isn't that neat? You are in a moment of growth, personal growth. And when we're all in those personal growth modes, it's amazing. It's like growing pains. It doesn't feel very good. Well, I hope I got everybody. And if not, please put in the comments real quick here. And I hope that everybody knows that you are loved. And when we're going through our personal wars, when we're going through those personal traumas, and we're going through those personal stories of why can't I, where am I going, stop, breathe, and take insight. Insight to what is showing you. Because no matter what we're going through, love is around you. Love is around you to show you the greater good. Blessings to everyone, and thank you for staying with me as I went over. Usually I'm here from Regan and I on Mondays with the Dance of the Soul is here from 4 to 5. And we don't mind running over a few minutes, but I know it makes it a longer show. And we're here to help you go through the process of personal growth, personal knowings, where to go, what our soul is here to go through. And as I talked about earlier in this show, about our how our soul is going through a lot of personal growth. And I held space for the war that's going across our countries. And my love is with everybody. Now on Wednesday at 4 o'clock on the same channels, Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, or wherever you're at, please subscribe or like. That I will be on with Eric Hall, Life Clarifications with Natasha. And usually on that show, I try to talk about how to work through our personal stuff, kind of like today. But Regan wasn't here today because his flight was delayed. I do hope that you are all good, and please come and watch Eric and I on Wednesday. He is a tremendous man. His perception is, I just love the guy. I love the guy. Blessings to all. Know that a blanket of love is around you. And please, whenever you get a chance, please hold space for just a minute and be quiet and send love around the world. Because there's a lot of beings around this world that can use love right now to help change their perspective. And if you need any help, you can reach me at angelicclarifications.com for a personal session. I would love to help you. Bye now. See you on Wednesday.